Go.
Welcome to Pure Film. This is Leon.
And I'm Gary. This week we've got The Wrestler, Slumdog Millionaire, and Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
Yep, the great Beverly Hills Chihuahua. We really did enjoy that, didn't we, Gary?
Absolutely. First up, though, is The Wrestler.
What do you want from me?
I'm an old, broken-down piece of meat, and I deserve to be all alone. I just don't want you to hate me.
The Wrestler. So, age rating 15.
15 rated, yeah.
Starring Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke.
People I don't know how to pronounce.
It's Marissa Tomei. Evan Rachel Wood. And directed by Darren Aronofsky.
So, what do you think then, Gary? The plot? Should we wrap up the plot trying to? Basically, it's a rags to, well, not rags to riches, it's kind of...
It's a rags to
Rags.
slightly more rags.
Yeah, rags to rags kind of thing.
Yeah.
Similar kind of thing to Rocky. It's kind of...
It has been compared to Rocky
Yeah,
quite a lot. It's that kind of sports movie, redemption style. It's more about his own personal journey.
Yeah, I did find it very... It lacked kind of...
Not really about twists and turns.
Yeah, it kind of just was straightforward, plain and simple, kind of plot-wise, but the way it was told, I think it was quite compelling. Well, very compelling, really.
Absolutely.
It was but basically Mickey Rourke, Randy the Ram Robinson.
Randy the Ram Robinson.
Crazy name, but basically his character, he was a wrestler and it used to be a superstar in the 80s kind of thing, in the past anyway, and now it's come to the point where he's struggling to carry on with his career.
He's like a faded star, really. I think the point of the film is that it's kind of reached a point where he still loves wrestling, but his body's unable to... It's an interesting parallel with Marissa Tomei's character, because she's got the exact same problem.
Yeah, it's a parallel character, isn't it, really?
Absolutely.
What do you think of Mickey Rourke? Because I didn't really know much about him, really. I know that he was in Sin City. He was in Once Upon a Time in Mexico, I think. And he's done in a couple of games. I thought I'd mention that. He's done a couple of game voices.
I thought you might mention that then.
Well, yeah, that's all I know, really. Do you know anything about him?
Oh, well, he was big in the 80s, apparently. He was starting to make himself a leading man, and then he got slammed in film after film after film. I think he got nominated for a couple of Razzies.
Really?
I think so.
Wow.
I can't remember the films that it was.
He's kind of one of those actors that people say, or the older kind of folk kind of say, oh, I used to remember Mickey Rourke. He used to be a great actor. And then for you to say that Raspberries is quite... Maybe there's like a myth about Mickey Rourke that he used to be great, but he wasn't really great kind of thing.
He was sort of starting to make his name, and then he just like fell off the radar for 15 years, basically. Turned to boxing. Yeah,
I heard that. He went to boxing. I think he was undefeated, but I read on Wikipedia that he was undefeated. So I don't know if that was true, but...
I think he was a reasonable one. He was never like...
Yeah. So what do you think of him in the film?
Amazing, to be honest. It was really incredible piece of acting. Obviously been nominated for the Academy Award. I think deservedly so.
Didn't he win
the Globes?
Globes.
He is probably looking the favourite at the moment to win it, and it's deserved because he's really surprisingly subtle acting.
Yeah. I think he's like I don't know, one of those dogs that are really, you know what I mean? Like in the eyes, you look in the eyes and it just looks really, really sad. When I was watching the film, I was looking at him and I was thinking, you kind of believe that he really is nothing anymore, and that he's got no hope, he's got nothing, and he's really at the lowest. But no, I was really impressed with Mickey Rourke. I think him as an actor, he was incredible. I really was believed in how he kind of portrayed his character. I thought he became really the legendary wrestler of the time. And as a wrestler, I thought his wrestling was incredible, because I used to watch wrestling. I used to watch that a lot, and I was really impressed with the wrestling. I thought it was really genuine. I kind of thought it was kind of like wrestling.
It was very impressive. There's no like...
brutal as well. I thought it was really...
The violence was quite explicit, more explicit than I was expecting. Especially there was the hardcore wrestling match.
Oh yeah, staples and
pins
bits
of
whatever.
Glass being picked out of his back, and
it didn't seem like something that was acted, does it? It seemed like it was genuine, that there were pins in it. Didn't
it did seem,
when you could see them like glistening in the light. It was a bit strange. I thought it felt really real, and
there's quite a few people down the line from me in the cinema who were didn't sound too well after having seen that.
Yeah, it was kind of in your face, kind of here it is and that's how it is kind of thing. Do we have something about Mickey Rourke saying about the...
We do.
Here it is, yeah, carry on.
You know, there's a certain way I would land like a brick and, really like hurt every bone in my body, and then I'd be off to getting another MRI, and finally I was learning how to land the right way, because in the beginning it was frustrating. These guys take several years, like any profession, to learn their trade, and we were trying to jam that into 4 months.
It's a credit to Aronofsky, because he really does make wrestlers, it makes you believe that wrestlers do hurt. And yeah. I thought it was quite interesting that he struggled to kind of land it right, form like a wrestler, because he really did become one.
Because obviously when you think of wrestling, you think of how fake it is, but these are still athletes.
You do get this this kind of cloak around wrestling saying that, it doesn't hurt, it's fake, because you get to an age, don't you, when you're about 12, that wrestling's fake. But I think this kind of gives you kind of clear, more perception of how wrestling is and how they generally do hurt. And
it is scripted, but at the same time it's still
genuine. But no, Aronofsky, I thought he brings out the best out of these characters, and I think especially with the female characters as well.
Evan Rachel Wood.
Yeah, she was also.
She's slowly been carving herself out a role as like exceptionally talented young actress.
Yeah, she wasn't in a lot of the film, but I thought she kind of held her own with Mickey Rourke. I thought she really did.
Absolutely. In most of those films, in most of those scenes, even she's probably the more dominant character.
Yeah.
I mean, she's only in like 3 scenes,
definitely,
but
it's very strong performance by her. Actually, I was quite surprised. I thought a character of like such small kind of importance, you'd think that it just kind of dwindle away. And also Marissa Tomei or Tomato or whatever. But I thought no, she was good as well.
It seems at the start of the film like he relies on her, but throughout the film we sort of realise that they sort of depend on each other in a way.
Yeah. So we've been praising this film an awful lot. So is anything bad? Because we're just ranting here saying how good it is, and people are going to think we're rubbish reviewers, aren't we?
They are going to think that was totally not true.
But we have actually got some bad things about it. Not bad things, but little things that kind of
there are
niggle
a couple
at
of
you.
Things that let it down. Yeah.
I think there was an interesting point that you said to me after we watched the film. You said about it was trying too hard, and I didn't notice. I did notice, but I didn't until you said that.
Yeah. Some of the scenes between the wrestling scenes, when it's more character-based stuff, they just seemed emotionally forced, as though they were trying to forge
a reaction
from the audience.
I think there was one scene where I think they're on a pier kind of thing, with the daughter and him, and it kind of the sentence just kind of closed itself so quickly. You don't really. It wanted a reaction from you, but you don't get one. You kind of you expect it to be a bit more kind of poignant. Kind of didn't really kind of hit.
No, it was like
trying to almost clawing at you, but it just didn't do it. Any other problems you had? Did you think the random scene where he was with that girl in the toilet did feel a bit like
it seemed out of place? It's sort of
slightly.
I think it was necessary as a plot point.
Yeah, it was. That's why it felt it was in there.
Because... But it didn't really add to the character or develop the story.
But other than that, any other problems? I think I've got one more, but
you got one more.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Not a problem. It's like I felt as if because the story was so linear, like you're going down a tunnel, and there was no way off the tunnel. It was just straight down a dark tunnel. A little feeling in the back of my head where you think, I think I know where this one's going, and I think that was not a disappointment, because you can't really go that far with a plot like that. But actually, the ending. What do you think of the ending?
The ending I really liked. It was. The people sat in front of us when we were watching it turned around, and they weren't kind about the ending. They didn't seem to treat.
They're saying, that was they swore. I think they swear for this program, but they did use kind of harsh words that it was not a good film. But don't believe them, believe us.
Yes,
we're the reviewers, not them.
The thing that was so good about the ending was it. Even though you saw it coming, it sort of leaves it up to you.
Yeah,
there's no.
It definitely does.
I don't want to ruin anything here, but it was.
It's very hard hitting. I think it's very powerful. It's very powerful, and the ending. It's you think you know where you're going, but then the ending is just like, there you go, make what you want with it, and it's kind of like makes you think. Really, it doesn't you don't go out of the cinema thinking, oh yeah, that's a good film, but it stays with you.
It does stay with you.
I thought I'd mention the beginning of the film is also very good. I like the montage of all the 80s kind of thing, and then suddenly it kind of cuts to a frail man in a corner kind of coughing his guts out, and I thought that was very good. I like that contrast.
He's not the frailest of old men, but
no, but he's in the corner hidden away from the camera, all curled up, and you kind of get the sense that that's then and this is now kind of thing. I thought that was very good. But yeah,
it was an effective juxtaposition.
Yeah, I think we've been ranting on for a while now, so
I think we need to move on to the next film.
Yeah, next film. So what we got? Beverly Hills Chihuahua. Oh, that's a great film, isn't it? Even better than The Wrestler? Even? Maybe not?
Let's just listen.
Who am I? The question is, what am I? I'm a Chihuahua. Chihuahua.